CM Punk as the devil would be like one of the greatest storylines. If Tony Khan and CM Punk worked the entire media into this, it would be you're talking about something you want to turn business around with. Now that would get people talking. I would definitely not bet on this being the case. I said I'm not gonna like pick this to happen, but I gotta leave like a 1% chance.
So Justin. I God, what was it, 2 or 3 weeks ago? I don't even know how I stumbled into it, but I kind of gave you guys my rankings for possibilities of who this devil is, and CM Punk was like my highest of hopes of what it could be. Yes. And there's been a lot of teases, both from people in AEW and CM Punk himself. And the teases from CM Punk himself is why I believe there is zero chance it is CM Punk. Because if they were able to do whatever they did at All In, with whatever that backstage fracas was, and you're keeping Jack Perry out for months, and you're keeping it completely hidden from every single insider who's not been able to even kind of hint to like, I think it might be a work. Nobody's able to get that information. It is an all-time Kaiser Soze cover-up.
That is why it would be so good.
Yeah.
Now,
exactly where I was going. Yes. Continue, Justin.
But why would you have, if you did that great of a job keeping that under wraps, why the fuck would you have CM Punk hinting at it on Instagram and shit? That just completely fucking ruins it. You could have an all-time reveal, but he's out there having fun with it. And that's the key word, fun. He's just having fun. It's not CM Punk, everybody. I'm sorry. It would rule. I love the idea of him with the Pinnacle. That is incredible, especially if you know the backstage stuff with how the Pinnacle fucking hates MJF in real life, I think, to a degree. It's just not him.
Yeah, I agree. But that 1%, just because I'm not saying this is going to happen. I'm definitely, look, I've heard zero on this too. I've talked about stuff on the show. I've talked about stuff with you guys off air, people sending me stuff, match results before it happens. You know, I have not heard a peep on CM Punk, and I think it's him trolling. I mean, counterpoint is that he teases stuff before he made appearances too, to get people talking. If he doesn't tease it, nobody is even possibly thinking it's him, because everyone thinks, he's been fired, which, as far as we know, he has been. But it gets people possibly expecting it. Does that make the reaction even better? I mean, you would get that great live pop, of course, but like nobody would be going into the show even thinking it's a possibility. With them teasing it, more people are excited about the possibility and thinking, oh, maybe it could happen. George says, I'm hoping for that 1%. Yeah. I mean, I obviously am too, but I wouldn't put any money on it. I don't think it. I think there's a couple of other choices on who it's going to be, but it's fun to think about, Jesse.
Yeah. I put it at 5%, a little bit higher. I think CM Punk went on, he was doing, I think, a UXFC card and said, oh, I've got about 2 months in this booth. And then I got other obligations I'll be heading back to. He did say that. I mean, that could also allude to another promotion later on, but got that. They've also been
workers on there wear a WWE pin or something. There's one of them too. There was something else going on with one of the other announcers. Yeah.
And then you got again, tying back the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega stuff with the you've been acting like immature children, the sugar glass, all of it. Mm-hmm. Which is why there is about a 0.5% chance, and you would completely turn away viewers and fans if Jungle Boy Jack Perry was the reveal too.
That would be bad. Yeah, I'm sorry. That would be really bad. It would be. But would you? And the slender build of the first Devil, he looked so small, which is why we thought maybe it could be Britt Baker at first. Mm-hmm.
But she's out. She's denied it completely. A wild card in this that would also be a wet fart would be Kyle O'Reilly.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's due back here very, very soon. I'd like him to be one of the devils, like one of the assailants, one of the accomplices in this whole thing. I think it's 90% it's Adam Cole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it just makes all sense.
Which is the obvious answer, but yeah, agree.
And that just goes back to like, how legit is this injury? How legit is the severity of it? You know, were they at least able to cover that up? You know, like, because for it to be Punk, that's a hardcore conspiracy theory with the cover up involved in that
podcast. Could you imagine that 1% chance, and they somehow worked everyone? That would be an all-time fun show to do.
Absolutely, it would be an all-time great wrestling moment.
Yes. I would give my son a small dose of melatonin, put him to sleep, and say, "Hey, let's go do the show."
Guys, we're not trying to get you excited. We don't think that's actually going to it's good podcast content. It's fun to talk about. Don't go telling people this is going to happen. I don't think so.
And it's not like we're pulling it out of thin air. People are
obviously talking about it. Yeah. That's why we got to talk about it. But yeah, Adam Cole makes the most sense. Jack, you cannot do Jack Perry.
The glass stuff is weird though, because that room that Bowens got thrown into, that didn't even have a door for that person who was in there to like go in and out of. To me, it was very specifically about the glass.
Yep.
The thing about Perry though is everything we saw from him previously, him being heel, was horrible. So he can't pull it off. I don't know how you would go to him in this key spot when he showed you he just could not do the character work necessary previously.
Yeah.
And like, are you really going to go to Perry and MJF?
Ugh.
Unless he went to Jason Priestley and Ian Ziering for acting lessons the last 3 months.
Yeah. Just talking about putting this focus back on, MJF as the world champion. That's going to be the next feud? No way. No, I mean, obviously the story they've been telling is Adam Cole, and I know people probably want a bigger shock than that with this, but that's the most logical. That's my pick. If they even reveal it, which they might not, as we talked about.
And then the old hug and the stab, which he's done to O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, and MJF as well. So it should be Adam Cole.
It's the logical destination, and sometimes in wrestling, that's your best possible outcome. Is the most logical one, and whether the injury was real or not, it added that nice little mystery to it. Is the severity of it and how long he's going to be out, and if he is able to make like a miraculous John Cena return sooner than everybody thought, that just adds to the story.